What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the best icons in each position throughout multiple prices. So we're going to start off with the goalkeepers, and to be honest, at this point, if we take out Czech, because obviously we know where he's going, we know there's only realistically 3 keepers. The only one missing out of these trio is going to be Schmeichel, and I must admit it kind of goes from left to right down to that bottom one. I think the first one, Enquiries, 100,000 has always been a nice price. He is necessarily kind of not everybody's cup of tea, and with all of the team of the seasons we can get now for 30 to 50,000 coins, it is going to take something to maybe choose him over him, unless you do need an icon keeper. A Spanish keeper, he's one of the better ones. Yashin, on the other hand, 445. Same with Van der Sar, to be honest, at 572. Now coming down in price, as he now is back in packs. We've managed to pick him twice since we've come back, and it's unfortunate that we do have him already. I want my Ronaldinho. But in terms of them two, I do think they are the better keepers out of the icons. Van der Sar, most definitely. I've played so many matches with him that naturally I know how good he is. And even if you wanted to go as far to go with the prime, if you don't necessarily have all the coins and want an icon keeper rather than a team of the season, I would personally go Van der Sar, Yashin and Casillas. Then we move over to fullbacks. We have got a few that I've put at the bottom that are from the Shapeshifter promo, and to be honest, I think some people like them. I personally don't. We've got Ballack at right back or left mid as his previous, Herrera, who was a centre back, at left back and right back, and also Riquelme with a 5-star, 4-star, probably my favourite out of the 4, but most definitely not one that I'm willing to put into the team. The amount of left backs we've got, I just don't really fancy him, and obviously we do have a good amount of left backs already still in the icons at the top. In terms of left backs, we're looking at Ashley Cole and Roberto Carlos. I think them two are the standouts for the icons in terms of left backs. Ashley Cole can be used as an SBC. I don't know if he's still there, actually. I think we did complete him just purely for the fact of how much fodder we've got. Roberto Carlos has always been number 1. Whether we see somebody take over that, I feel like Marcelo as a hero could be a shout in the coming FIFAs whenever he is going to be announced. But Roberto Carlos is definitely the best icon left back we've got at the moment. Ashley Cole a close second, and I must admit, Ashley Cole for me should be over him in terms of the prestigious career that he had. I feel like Ashley Cole definitely is deserving of an upgrade, and a lot of these footies, or a lot of these icons now, could potentially get a cover star icon, is I believe what they're calling it. Was known as the end of era icon, but we haven't seen them put into the game just yet. Right back side, Zambrotta's there purely for how class he actually is, but there is definitely a different position that you want him in. So very brushed over him in terms of icons now. Zanetti, I do personally like as more of a midfielder than a right back, but he definitely does the job still. Lahm, very similar. I feel like them two both play really well in that CDM role, but you can go with a right back, which is their original position. But for me, Carfu is going to take the right back spot. Again, another one that could potentially get an upgrade. I don't think he was ever a cover star. Let me know if he was, but I'm pretty sure, unless it's like early 90s that we've saw him on the cover, I don't remember seeing him. I'd like to tell you about skycoach.gg. They offer many features within the FIFA franchise, from FIFA coins to FIFA Weekend League boosts, from trusted sellers, pro players, and are the best prices on the market currently. They have fast delivery, high quality services, lots of games, and also a cashback program. The more coins you buy, the more eligible you are for cashback options. So if you want to buy FIFA coins at the best price, click the link in the description of this video. It will be active promo code for 10% discount from my subscribers. All you have to use is the code JT11 at the checkout to receive this bonus. On to the video. Now, in terms of centre backs, we've got a lot of top end centre backs that we can still use. Yes, we're going to disregard the Varans, the Virgils, the Militaos. There's so many non-icon based, so it is down to you want an icon centre-back. We've got a lot of the kind of cheaper ones now. We're looking at Blanc, Vidic, Nesta, Baresi. Incredible versions for themselves. I think Blanc is the only one out of the quadruple there that had a version that you still could have used. His prime was surprisingly actually semi-decent in the game. Definitely gets overrun by team of the season footies, but he was in the question. Nesta, Baresi are definitely not, and even Vidic, once he kind of got past his base and mid at the start of the game, is not really mentioned at all, but all four of them has had a great upgrade on this new icon promo sort of thing. The trophy titans, the full birthday, shapeshifters. It has been a great addition this year. Vidic is definitely my favourite out of the four. Petit's in there. I feel like he can do a job. He is not necessarily my favourite centre-back, but the defensive ability of him is fantastic. And the 5-star weak foot is just going to add a little bit of a bonus. So if you did manage to get him, he's definitely not one that I would stick my nose up at just yet. We then have Schweinsteiger. Love this card. I didn't know how much I wanted a 97 Schweinsteiger at centre-back, but he's 1.7 mil, which is crazy. But look at the stats on him. I'd never thought I'd see a 90 pace Schweinsteiger, as well as 97 defending and physical. Still got the passing and dribbling mobility from him as well. And again, the 5-star weak foot, which is always a nice little extra bonus on top. We then have Carlos Alberto. Love the fact that we can go from right back to centre back with him. It opens up that spot for a Cafu at right back, and then still gives you a nice Brazilian centre back in the icon form as well. Desai Rio, very average now in my opinion. I'd definitely go Desai over Rio this year. I don't know what it is with Rio this year, but he has just not been at that level anymore. I used to see him base, mid, prime throughout the whole year. Would even get a bit of moments in him, but unfortunately this year it just doesn't seem like he's really gone anywhere. And the final one is obviously Maldini. Still absolutely insane, and he is an SBC now as well. So if you have not got your end game centre back as of yet, that is one you want to be working towards, because he is still top 2, top 3. I personally class him as the best centre-back in the game, but it all depends on how you use centre-backs and what you kind of want, because that 97 Varane is looking very tasty, but you've got to pay a lot of coins to get him or be very lucky to have packed him. Maldini, though, SBC is definitely worth doing. On to the CDMs, we have got only a few in this sort of kind of position. I have gone for the actual CDMs as well. It might not be where they naturally play. We have a lot of centre mids in formations now, but it is if they've started in CDM, so I can break them down to CDM, CM and CAMs. We have got Essien, kind of the lower option now, 60,000 coins, and I've included a lot of these players that are not necessarily end game. They're most definitely not going to see you in through the game, and more than likely you do have positions that are already filled in this that really don't need any new ones. But it's always a nice option to remember that we do have an Essien that's got 91 defending and physical. Again, he's not going to compare to your 96 Contes, but he's a nice cheaper option if you are not necessarily balling with coins. Let's face it, not everybody's playing this game 15 hours a day. Xabi Alonso, I had to include him because what an SBC he was from Team of the Year. We used him for so long until Team of the Season. He was a great upgrade from the Xabi Alonso that literally was not talked about at all. I think I used his base because he was new, and even then you could tell where that card was going. Very much Pep Guardiola sort of style in that CDM role. Makalele, great addition. I feel like you could still do a semi-good role in this game now. He is an SBC as well, so if you wanted to get him done with pure fodder, very, very easily completable. And then finally, Seedorf. 320k, not a bad option. Gone from Cam into that CDM, and again, more of a box-to-box, judging from the attacking options, as well as having that defending physical, the 4-5, a great shapeshifter. And I must admit, they have done incredible after Team of the Season for the cards they've given us, and we're not even at the best position yet. Now, we do have a lot of centre mids to go through, and obviously there is some absolute massive hitters in this. I put Roy Keane on the end here, another SBC card. He is necessarily past it a little bit, but I think for the amount of coins you could get him for in terms of an SBC, he is not bad at all. He's got that defending physical prowess, a bit of pace on him, dribbling and passing's good. I do think the pace element would be the thing that holds him back in a team right now, but as an SBC, if you wanted, like I say, it's all based around icons. He's not a bad shout. Same with Gerrard and Lampard, they kind of come under the same category. They're very similar in themselves, to be honest. 3-star, 5-star, 4-4. Again, they are kind of just more nostalgic players than necessarily endgame players. We then have Figo as either a centre mid or a striker. Another great addition to him, going from that right wing into the middle a little bit and giving him that box-to-box sort of mentality. Good defending, a good physical boost, dribbling and passing's already high, and he does have a nice pace as well. Beckham, on the other hand, an incredible player. Probably one of the better team of the years we got from that previous one, bar from maybe your Hullets and your Ronaldinhos, but what a job he does in that centre mid. Most definitely not a right mid, and it's hence why I haven't put him with the wingers. He is a centre mid focused for me. Same with Hullet. He technically is a centre forward on his position, but I don't really want to play him in centre forward. I want him in that midfield, running the show. We know how good Hullet is, and it's why he's still 2.7 million coins. I can imagine we will get an upgrade SBC for him at some point. We've had Maldini, we've had Jarzinho, we've got a lot of top end players, and I can imagine this might be the year we get them back at the end of the game. Zambrotta, on the other hand, so much that you need to complete him. 380k is well worth this card. Him and Socrates together are incredible. A 4-5 and a 4-5. Both of them run the show. They're a nice upgrade. Obviously, with Zambrotta as a right back, was solid there. Absolutely solid. And the only reason why I wouldn't put him at right back is purely this card. Them two together was an incredible partnership. Both of them now coming in just under 1 million coins between them. I think that is a solid centre mid you could run to the end of the game. Xavi Pirlo, again, passing orientated, depending on game style. I'm not a massive fan of both of them. I feel like they are very much one gimmick cards. They aren't necessarily the physical element of them. They haven't got the defending. The pace is definitely subpar now, but the passing and dribbling is exquisite. Very good on the turn. And if you need somebody to make that pass into your wingers and you want that sort of nostalgic vibe from them, they are going to be great at the passing game and being able to make the space. And then finally, the final two big hitters as well. Vieira, we've just got an SBC for, and I think Matthias, I can imagine again, we might see another one of him. Whether we see a cover star, Vieira obviously was on a cover at some point. Whether we see him in this next cover star icons is going to be the big question, but both of them are still end game to anything, and if they do get an upgrade, it just emulates that even further. Very much like the CDMs, the cams don't have too much, but what a trio we've got. A 5-4, a 5-5, and a 5-5. Zola, obviously, the newer one out of the three. 299,000 for the SBC. Another great one that you can do for a very little price. I do think he's not necessarily on the same level of kind of Zidane and even Kaka, to be honest. Kaka was unfortunate. I do think with him, the ECL version was definitely almost a negative point for the whole card themselves, because we could have got a great card there. He could have been 95, 96, 5-5, SBC. It would have been brilliant, but the fact that they gave him a 4-star, 5-star back and only made him like an inform better, I just think for me that wasn't the move for them, and I definitely prefer this 5-5 Kaka any day of the week. Zidane, on the other hand, he just runs the show. Trophy Titan, still 2.1 mil. It lets you know how good this card is, and even though there is options outside of icons, in an icon form, he is definitely the best cam you can get in the game. Now, if you've made it this far, this is probably my favourite position at all with new cards. Pele 99, the best Henry we've ever seen. Ronaldinho, incredible. Van Persie, Eto'o. There is some absolute stars in this. 26.9 million. And Ronaldinho's at 5.4. Pele's at 8.6. Henry's at 7.8. There is a lot of coins in this one. And I must admit, it would be the only reason why I'd want to do that 90 plus icon, because it does now have shapeshifters in it. And if we manage to hit any of them, even the Eto's at 1.5, the 560 for Van Persie, they are next level wingers and definitely do hit home with the out of icons as well. Your Salas, your Mbappe left wing. There is a lot of top end out of icon left wings and right wings, but the icons have definitely put in a good shift here. I think left wing might be a hard shout, but again, you can go with Eto'o and Van Persie in that right wing. Eto's got a left wing as well. You've got yourselves your right wing here. Pele can be both, I'm pretty sure. He can be right wing as well. Ronaldinho can be cam, he can be cam, but that's about it. Rivaldo I've put in here as an SBC that was very good during FUT Birthday, and if we do manage to get a year in review that goes that far back, it would be really nice to potentially have a year in review icon edition. Could be an SBC that maybe you get one of the icon SBCs. We've had a lot of low ones. We've had a lot of high ones. You put it at a kind of medium price. I mean, that could be a great addition to the gamble SBCs we've got. So, again, if EA are listening, that might not be a bad shout. But in terms of kind of the best here, Henry has just been absolutely amazing. I'm a big fan of Ronaldinho. Obviously, Pele being the first 99 card we've got on the game. Them three are just absolutely clear of everybody. Eto'o, on the other hand, great 5-star, 5-star. Even Van Persie with the 5-star, 4-star. Incredible right wings with obviously their, well, Van Persie was already left-footed, but Eto'o being changed to a left foot to be able to cut inside. That, again, is just absolutely magnificent for the shapeshifter promo. Pires is definitely more of a cheaper option, can obviously go into an SBC as well, but he definitely is a lot faster than I feel. 90 doesn't do him that justice, but I do think he is a solid left wing if, again, you are looking for a more cheaper option. Campbell I've chucked in there just because he's kind of something different. Wasn't necessarily my favourite winger, was definitely quicker than anticipated, but definitely not the quickest left wing I've seen in the game. And then obviously Georgie Best and also Jairzinho as an SBC, both of them are still absolutely incredible. Best can go obviously on the left wing as well, which has kind of helped him with the Jairzinho and Garrincha sort of pairing. He's kind of been pushed to that side rather than being kind of subjected to the comparison of the two Brazilians. One thing I did totally forget with icons, we have a lot of centre forwards. We have Raul, Bergkamp, Del P, Cantona, and then the obvious trio of Puskás, Eusebio, and Cruyff. My personal favourite out of all of them is going to be Cruyff. I think every version is outstanding. The fact that you can get Prime Cruyff for 700k is brilliant. Such a cheap card, and again, one that I would love to see in a cover star icon. Don't think he's ever been a cover star in the mainstream games, but maybe if they do a kind of a Dutch edition, I'd imagine that he's definitely been on there at some point. So he could be a great upgrade into a 97, 98 Cruyff. I would give my left arm, well, right arm, I'm left-handed, but my right arm for him, he would be outstanding. Eusebio, Puskás. Puskás has had a FUT birthday edition, so ignore me with that one. Obviously, it'd be more than 95 out of anybody. Raul's kind of more of your cheaper option from an SBC. I've not been a massive fan of him, but in terms of game style, I do think he is still a good striker of the ball. Same with Bergkamp. In terms of kind of running forward and absolutely beating everybody, he's not necessarily that sort of player, but the passing element, the dribbling, getting the shot off from outside the box, he's got a good range there. Even Cantona this year has definitely not been the most iconic that we've seen of Cantona. He normally is one of the top 10, top 5 icons we kind of want. This year, I definitely think he's dropped under that, and it might be the fact that we've had such good additions onto it with your FUT birthdays, your trophy titans, your shapeshifters, that have kind of overshadowed his position personally. Think he's been a cover star as well, so definitely keep your eye out. And Del P, very much like Dalglish, we'll see in the next one, 5-5 upgrade, incredible. Was a level 40 reward, wouldn't imagine a lot of people have picked that personally over the 85 times 25. That one is just a pack you cannot miss out on, and obviously if we do get him as an SBC later on down the line, that again would be a cracking card to do. And then we have the strikers. Some that definitely are due a big upgrade. I personally think Drogba is definite a shoo-in. He, again, I don't know if he's a cover star, but we need another one. A footies icon Drogba 96, 97 would be outstanding. He already was very nice with the lengthy meta going forward at the start of the game. Now we've started to see less and less of him. Not an upgrade at all this year, which I am very surprised, as he is one of them names that I feel like always could do with one. Owen, on the other hand, another nice cheaper one. Definitely got the pace on him. Good amount of shooting. 5-4 as well if you were going for a more cheaper icon. But I think the one that has really messed with any sort of icon and, to be honest, striker on the game, it's going to be our man Cech. He was about 130k during the SBC coming out. Now at 156, he is the best striker on the game from a shapeshifter, from an icon, from an SBC, because this guy is stupid. 6'5", the lengthy meta is in full flow. He's got the 5-star, 4-star. If you don't think he's good, give him another try, because just run with him. Genuinely, he goes past everybody flawlessly. He's the most infuriating striker I have seen in this game, probably forever, to be honest. Ben Yedder's always been Rat Yedder. We've always had an R9 and Mbappe that are just demons to go against. You see that helmet at the start of the game, you know full well that he's going to score a goal at some point. Dalglish, on the other hand, like Del P, a great upgrade for the 5-star, 5-star. Was already a good icon in his prime, but this took him to that next level, in my opinion. Fernando Torres is one that I always thought, he's definitely not as good in game as what I remember. If you remember the FIFA 11, the FIFA 12 Liverpool Torres card, he was outstanding. Incredible in the game. Obviously, we didn't have a vast majority of special cards, icons, heroes, just the level of specials now we've got in comparison to the very, very little amount we had in the FIFA 10 to FIFA 12 era. There was barely informs. There was Team of the Seasons that was still just a gold card. Now we've got Torres in the icon. I do think another upgrade on top. A 5-5 Torres would have been outstanding for him. And then we've got the kind of final row. I must admit, there is a lot of icons that you can go through that are strikers, but in terms of really putting themselves out there in terms of you'd actually use them is very, very little now. Gerd Muller, a new addition to the game, definitely one of the cheaper ones from Team of the Year, and I must admit, I wasn't a massive fan of him, to be honest. I felt like the base was a little bit underwhelming. He kind of had that new vibe that was everybody was trying him out. Sometimes he'd score quite a few, but then as we got into the mid, the prime, the amount of strikers around him that just evolved, even just having a gold Mbappe, outshone him really. And then we have Rijkaard. One that I think, again, is one of them shapeshifters that you can either love him or hate him. He's a 5'4", he's got the pace, shooting, dribbling, physicality. He's not a bad option, but he most definitely didn't shine over Czech, in my opinion. And to be honest, I don't think many of them do. Rooney, on the other hand, is definitely a shoo-in for a cover star. He's been on so many. I think for him, Rooney, Ronaldinho are the main two that I would say are in deserve of that cover star icon, if that is where they're going with it, because I would love a 98-99 Rooney would be outstanding to try and get, and definitely believe there will be an SBC instantly on him. And then we have the two Brazilians, 97 R9 at 8.2 and 98 Garrincha at 2.6. Two outstanding strikers, a 5'5 for R9 and obviously a 5'4 for Garrincha. They are two of the best strikers on the game. Garrincha still, I would like him on that wing sort of play. He definitely can go down the middle if you really wanted to, but I do think the left-right wing for him is a perfect position for this card. It's a great upgrade, and in terms of the card, he is outstanding. And R9 is the cheat code of cheat codes for all strikers. So let me know down below if there's anybody that I missed out. If you did enjoy, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.